WA 1500 Revolver. Head event there for Peter Bruce, reigning world champion. 1493, 111 X's. Fabulous score shot in 2019. Still top in New South Wales for the WA 1500 world title. One of the top competitors there, his father Dean, Jeremy Kozak. Dean on the line, top shooter, top coach. Ray Andrews, president of Pistol Australia, competes at all competitions in all disciplines. Kozak, WA, be one to watch. North Queensland's Jamie Longbottom, also part of that WA 1500 world title team. Super competitor there on the Revolver. We have the sitting position. Longbottom, Bruce, Kozak. Andrews again in the sitting position, using that knee as a bit of a tripod to try and steady the firearm. Prone position, get down low, line up the sights, try and stay centre of target. Extremely difficult, especially from 50 yards. You see top competitor here, 2 in the X, 3 now. Competitors will move down, change targets, change firing position. Standing around the barricade again, Peter Bruce. Competitors just steadying themselves, calming the nerves. Waiting for the range officer to give the command. And target's turned, off we go again. 150 shots. Maximum score of 1500. Mantel again in the Revolver class. Peter Bruce, strong positioning, good solid hold of the firearm, minimising that recoil after each shot, staying on the centre of the target, trying to maximise his scores. Kneeling there. And down the line, all states and territories represented. Let's turn again, out of the holster, line it up. Tasmania. Supervision always in the background, always safety first, pistol shooting. Down to the 7-yard line, Craig Park. Given the all clear by the support staff. What a fabulous range. We've got our NT pistol team here. One of them's on the line at the moment, Chris Harding, about to compete in the third relay of the WA 1500. But we'll start with Glenn, President of Pistol NT. Great to have your team down here for the National Championships.
Absolutely, Westy. Thanks very much for speaking to us, and it's great to see everyone in person.
And the two Peters there, Peter Jones and Peter Tonkin. Peter Tonkin, you just had a competition, second relay of the WA 1500. You must be pretty good because all the top guns were on the line in that relay.
I wish I was that good. Yeah, it was a good shoot, and it's a real honour to be shooting with those guys, especially with Dean and Peter Bruce.
Yeah, Peter Jones, or Jonesy, we'll just call you Jonesy. You had Dean and Peter Bruce come up to NT to give you guys a bit of hand with Service Pistol and with WA 1500 to get that team together to come down. Just watching those guys compete, it's pretty amazing stuff.
It is, it's just awesome. They spent the weekend there with us guys out on the range, and then at the end of each day they'd do a demo shoot. On our second day they were demoing WA 1500 and Pete actually shot his PB. He shot the, I think it was a 1496 that he shot, which is what he repeated at the World Championships. So he shot it first at Palmerston Pistol Club.
Fantastic, a good record there for Palmerston Pistol Club. Put that one on the wall. Now, who's 3 clicks to the right?
That's me.
That's it, Peter Tonkin, yeah. So Dean was telling me he's fixed up a problem you've had for most of your shooting career, and he's got you pretty much sorted in about 15 minutes, and that's pretty amazing. I mean, he's a very, very good coach.
Oh, he's an extremely good coach, and it was, kept on calling me 3 clicks all weekend because of it. But it fixed up my problem and made me aware. I've just got to keep on remembering what he tells me.
And that's it. And you're now signing off on your emails as 3 clicks to the right, aren't you?
Yes. And I must say too, Dean down here has come over and pulled us aside and offered his help. Anything we can do, anything he can do to help us, and it's a very impressive man.
Dean Bruce, just come off the line from your relay in the WA 1500. How did you go?
Vast improvement on yesterday, Westy. Revolver is my preferred match, and well, it's yet to be scored, but I think I'm about 1 point behind Pete at the moment, so yeah, pretty handy. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic shooting. Everyone was a little bit maybe out of sync yesterday, getting into the groove today. It's been a long time since the national comp.
Yeah, true. I think that the long break may have contributed to the scores yesterday being down a tad. You know, the elements were pretty nice. Some of us aren't quite used to the humidity, but no excuses. A few of the guys had sort of fogging up glasses and things. That's sort of a bit of a learning curve for them. But yeah, I think it's probably just rolling back into the groove now, and I'm expecting to see scores continuing to improve over the next few days.
So putting on your coaching hat, you spent some time up in the NT, you helped get their team down here for the WA 1500 and Service Pistol. Tell us about that experience.
Oh, well, the boys put on a good show, there's no doubt about it. They took me off to a fishing farm and caught my first barramundi, and then we went out the harbour. But look, great bunch of people. Had a chat to the president of NT up there, and I said to him, you know, if I can get the lads tuned up, will he support them coming to the Nationals? He backed it 100%, and I was absolutely, genuinely excited yesterday when I seen the boys here yesterday, and I just thought, wow. And then I've had to give them a few little pointers and just told them, you know, the family at the Nationals will help them out in any circumstance. So if they've forgotten anything, or if they haven't got binoculars or something, I said, mate, there's always something going to be there. And we've already talked about my next visit to the NT, so we'll get those checks and measures in place after the Nationals and head back up. But yeah, good bunch of people.
Next, we continue to break down the revolver match action and reveal your winners for the 2021 WA 1500 Pistol Australian National Championships.
We continue the action at the WA 1500 revolver match. Peter Knowlton on screen there. We start this at this relay. Competitors to watch. Friends from NT also on the line. Great coaching support they've received from Dean Bruce. Wonderful shot here, looking back down the range. Competitors at the 50-yard mark. Shooting around the barricade. Simon Taranto, on the New South Wales team. Jansen from Victoria, picture of concentration. Spoiler comes up, just to check. With a quick reload, get away with her second 6 shots. Again, everything in time constraints. The bag of tricks, everything you need to take on the range with you. Target turns and straight shooting from NT. Ranto again. The 15-yard line. Competitors are showing their firearms are clear. All across the line, going at once. Bruce again. He's the one to catch in this competition. Skill of going left-handed, offhand, around the barricade. Nice sharp action getting out of the holster. Quick reload. And firing off those second 6 shots while the clock ticks down. Pretty solid shooting there. All 10 so far. One out on the 9. Second one there. 12 o'clock. New South Wales competitor Marnie Jones, also part of that WA 1500 World Championship team. On bottom from Queensland, just surveying the action. Great to have the volunteers. Plenty of people helping out. Peter Bruce, after claiming the pistol, also takes out the revolver. 1484, 111 X's. Dean Bruce in second, Kozak third. Only 3 points separating the top 3 places.
Peter Bruce, gold medal today, mate. Great competition in the revolver.
Yeah, mate, look, the competition's great. I thoroughly enjoyed today. It was a lot better than yesterday. Unfortunately, blew it a little bit on my last 50. I was in the box seat for a new record, but nerves got the better of me. But no, look, I'm very happy to have the gold medal again, and for the New South Wales to get up was great for Simon's first time. It was fantastic.
So your score of 1484 and 111 X's is very good.
Yeah, look, the 1484 I was happy with. The 111 X's is a new PB for me. I've never shot that high of an X-ring count before. That's very tight shooting, so obviously the components I got right were quite right. But yeah, 84 was good enough on the day. So
Dean Bruce, silver medal individual, team's gold. Pretty successful day for New South Wales.
Awesome day for New South Wales. Extremely proud of not only Pete, but Simon being his first time on the New South Wales team. And to have him up there, he's one of the guys I coach, and have him on the podium in the gold medalist position is just a little overwhelming and very humbling, actually. Yeah.
Very tight competition, not much between the top 3 competitors in individual. It's really tight.
Yeah, very tight. And look, that's what we love, this tight competition. I noticed the teams too, between the South Australians and the Queenslanders, 1 point. That's what it's all about, right to the end. Great stuff.
So Jeremy Kozak, 1481 today, bronze medal, very tight competition for the top.
Yeah, absolutely stoked with that. It's actually a PB at a national for me, so I'm over the moon. Yeah, unbelievable. Great day for me, and I was stoked to be here. And great to be here, period, with the Queensland being able to hold it national, not being able to play with the boys in 2 years. It's sort of emotional a little bit, yeah, but unreal, really good.
And hearty congratulations there to our top 10 competitors in the WA 1500 Revolver. Teams event there, New South Wales gold, Queensland silver, and South Australia take out the bronze.
Coming up, we turn the spotlight on the black powder match at the 2021 Pistol Australia National Championships and gain an insight into the tradition of black powder firearms.
Black powder's an old style form of shooting using cap and ball and powder. They're an old style gun that used to be used prior to a cartridge type gun. So this is a used components rather than a cartridge that slides into the gun. It's harder and it's also a lot more stricter as far as safety is concerned, because black powders, any ignition source will cause it to explode. The smokeless powder's a lot safer to use, whereas open flames are banned on black powder ranges for the reason that it's an ignition source, which is it's going to go bang fairly quickly. One of the reasons why we shoot black powder is we're just trying to keep alive the history of the type of handgun that was used back in the times, back from pirate days, also through Civil War and the likes of, where they used to use these on horseback, and we've turned it into a target sort of system where they can be used, we can justify the ownership, and also it's a great sport for people. The camaraderie is fantastic. Most black powders don't take themselves too seriously, and they do it for the enjoyment rather than the actual target side of things. We have a lot of people at our club in particular who shoot black powder, and they do it for the fun. I've got a Ruger Old Army in stainless steel, used for black powder and 25 metre target shooting, and I have a Thompson Contender for single shot for 50 metres. With my gun, I remove the cylinder from the gun, put it into a press, load up the 5 shots for the 5-shot series of the competition. So you have your cylinder out of the gun in the press, you put your black powder in, you put your filler in, and then you put your ball in, press that all together. Then you have to seal that with some grease to stop any flashover between the cylinders, because that can create an explosion which can actually blow the gun apart. And then you put that back into the gun. You get yourself ready, you put a cap on the end when the range officer tells you to, and then put it all back together, then cap the back of it, and you do all this under instruction from the RO, the range officer, in a certain time limit, and then you're giving a time limit to fire the gun. I do hand measure my powder. A lot of people do use a flask with a measured nozzle, so there's so much powder as sits in the nozzle when they load it into the gun. I'm one of those people that spends time in the shed and individually loads it out. In the old days, they'd be loading off the back of the horse, probably, where they'd be using the flask type into the side of the gun. Put the powder in, put a ball in, press it with the press that's actually on the gun. We use half loads of powder and then a packer, like a semolina or a polenta, to fill the gap. We're only trying to put holes in targets. We're not trying to shoot long distances. So the full charge of powder is not required.
Great explanation there, and of course the highlight of going into the black powder range is that muzzle flash and the smoke. You see our competitors lining up the 25 metre black powder. And that'll be followed by the 50 metre black powder. David Moore, New South Wales. Terry Bell, also from New South Wales. Black powder 25 metres is shot in 2 parts. Precision, 4 series of 5 shots in 12 minutes and 4 series of 5 shots on turning targets with 1 shot fired on each exposure of the target. All times include loading. Extremely difficult. Old style firearms in use for some of the competitors. Muzzle flash and the smoke. It's exciting stuff. It's old school shooting. We keep that history alive. Back to the origins of firearms. See there, Glenn Frew. Single shot at 50 metres. All the equipment laid out on the table for the reload. Scores there now, just helping with targets. There's your old style musket. right back in history. Black powder teams, Victoria, South Australia, New South Wales taking top 3 positions. And well done, Rod Lavelle from ACT taking out the individual 50 metre black powder.
Well, disappointing news for the competitors here at the PA National Championships. Brisbane heading into a 3-day snap lockdown due to a COVID outbreak. In the current climate of the world, well, we knew it was a possibility. We were hoping we could get through. We've managed to have our 25 metre black powder, 50 metre black powder, WA 1500 and 1 round of the service pistol. Other competitions, unfortunately, are going to have to be cancelled.
Looks like the service guys are going to only get their 3 matches through, and our ISSF team, they're just not going to get here. We're not going to be able to conduct it. But we're going to make a decision on that a little bit later. Main thing at the moment, we've got athletes that need to know what's happening, and they need to probably get starting to head home and things like that, interstate people. So
It's a 5 p.m. lockdown in Brisbane for 3 days at least, and we'll have to find out over the next coming couple of days whether we get back on Thursday or Friday for competition. Do you have plans as a contingency for this?
Contingency is we're working with Sport and Rec, and they're working with the health department, and they will allow us certain elements of our competition to go ahead over those 3 days of lockdown.
We'll let you get up there to the range and tell the athletes what the news is and let them make their decisions. Well, folks, we hope you've enjoyed the Range Report coming to you with the WA 1500 National Championship. That's a wrap for now. See you next time.